All right, welcome back to, I've noted what I'm calling this. Obviously, we've been doing orange bites, but this is basically just going to be a Bulldog show. So fun fact, before I did orange peelers, and like orange bites is under the orange peelers thing, right? I had a podcast. It was called The Dog Dish, and it was a Bulldogs podcast. So I'm thinking, let's just call this show The Dog Dish. It's under the orange peelers umbrella, but I basically just want to sit here and give my thoughts on each Bulldogs game each week. So maybe I'll call it The Dog Dish, or maybe we just won't have it a name, but it's orange peelers, but it's like Bulldogs orange peelers, Bulldogs peelers. I don't know. Anyway, this is essentially just going to be a Lachlan Galvin glazing session. I really just want to sit down and glaze Lachlan Galvin, but Matt Burton as well had a killer game today. Obviously, you know by now, Bulldogs have beat the Eels 30-12. I talked about yesterday on Orange Bites how nervous I get for Eels games. So really glad that the Bulldogs won this one and ended up winning it quite convincingly. It was a very impressive performance. You can probably hear my voice is just, not in a good way because I was at the game and did lots of yelling and did lots of cheering, and it was a lot of fun. But as I said, I really just want to glaze Lachlan Galvin. But before I glaze Lachlan Galvin, I want to talk Matt Burton. And there's some other players to talk about as well. But Matt Burton's performance today was sensational. He had an absolute blinder. I think that's probably the best game he's had all year. And one of the best games he's had in his career, I'd argue, especially as a six. He was just from the jump, he was in everything. And obviously he took an intercept try early, which, by the way, that was a crazy try. That's not being appreciated enough. All the Lachlan Galvin stuff's going to take away from how insane that try actually was. He took an intercept off the scrum, and it wasn't after a couple of passes, literally off the scrum. It was, I wonder if they'd looked at that through the week and I'd identified that there was an opportunity there, or if that was just pure eyes up footy from Burto. That was crazy. That was so good. But when he runs the football, he's so good. And I think he's one of the top 5'8" in the game anyway. But when he runs the ball, you can't argue it. He's one of the best 5'8" in the game. He's such a good ball runner. He's such a threat. And the amount of times he just took the line on and, was just threatening was elite. He was actually voted Fox League's best player of the round or something by the fans I saw. So just such a good game from Matt Burton. He was in everything. His kicking game, as always, was good and it was on fire. And then when Lachlan Galvin came on the field and played first receiver with Burton playing second receiver, he did really well there as well. Obviously, that kick-out try, Burton had a hand in, putting Connor Trace in a bit of space. And I thought when Galvin was on the field, him and Burton just combined really, really well. And obviously that's a look into, I guess the immediate future and very, very promising signs. And just on Burton as well, he's 18th man in Origin now, so he won't play next week. And then we have the bye. So it'll be interesting to see Galvin and Sexton together. But that Galvin-Burton combination is so good. And let's just get to glazing Lachlan Galvin. The whole time through the whole signing process and everything, I was very vocal about Galvin's a great player. I just don't see where he's going to fit in. I personally didn't see him as a 7. I had my concerns around him being an organisational halfback, and I feel like Burton, obviously a ball running 6, as I just talked about, obviously such a good ball runner, especially today. And I feel Lachlan Galvin's very much a ball running 6 as well. But the role Lachlan Galvin came on to play today was not a ball running 6. He was so organisational. I was taken aback at his talking and the pointing he was doing and the setting up plays, and just a good one to look at is when he scored his try. Karazi's getting tackled, and obviously Karaz ends up offloading it and they go pass and score off the back of it. But as Karaz is getting tackled, Galvin is literally setting up the next play. And that's not anything, mind-blowing, or that's nothing new. That's what halfbacks are meant to do. But just the point I'm trying to make is in that sentence, that's what halfbacks are meant to do. He was being a halfback. He was being an organisational 7 where he was setting up the plays. But he was really just taking the game by the scruff of the neck. I feel like he seemed nervous And like, obviously you're going to be nervous, but like he was very much just like fiddling with his shirt and with his shorts. But in the same way, he wasn't nervous and going away from the game. He was throwing himself into the action. He was getting his hands on the ball and playing a lot of first receiver, which as a six, you're not typically like you can. I guess you can play first receiver as a six and have the 7 out the back, but I don't know. I feel like typically his strength at the Tigers hasn't been first receiver. Maybe that's incorrect. Like I don't watch a heap of the Tigers. Like not closely at least. And and to be fair, a lot of this stuff I'm saying as well, could be sent as well. But I was watching him closely when he was on. But just the way he was just getting in there and directing play and hands on the ball, and the kick out try, which I sort of just touched on earlier, is another good example of something he did really well. If you look at, and this is going to sound like such a dumb comparison, but I'm here to glaze Lachlan Galvin, all right? In Origin, and Jamie Soward talked about this on Rugby League Gurus podcast, what Cleary did really well in Origin Game 1 that sort of went unnoticed is getting in at first receiver and creating space and time for the shape out the back. And Galvin did that really, really well for the kick-out try where he was first receiver, got the ball, dug in deep into the line, and then hit out the back to Burton and just gave them an extra, even if it's just an extra split second, just gave them a little bit more time, a little bit more space by, getting deep into the line. And once again, a halfback going deep into the line isn't rocket science, all right? That is what a halfback is meant to do. But once again, the point I'm trying to make is in that sentence, that is what a halfback is meant to do. And my criticism of Lachlan Galvin was, I don't think he's an organisational halfback. I don't think he's a halfback. I've said I think he could develop into a halfback a couple years down the track, but I don't think he's a halfback. And honestly, I think he proved me wrong tonight. I know, I watched it happen. He was being a halfback, he was playing 7, and he was playing 7 very, very well. And I was very impressed with him. And biasly, I was going into the game wanting to be impressed with him. Like, I'm happy to admit that. Like, obviously, I'm not going to come out here and be like, oh, he did bad. But he genuinely was impressive, and he genuinely played really well. He had the involvement in the kicker try. And then, like, even just the try he scored where... And like people are like, oh, yeah, he just caught it and put it down. And yes, he did just catch it and put it down. But he was pushing up in support. And once again, that's not rocket science. That's not something crazy. But that is a little effort area where he was pushing up in support. And not every player is going to have that effort. And granted, he had been on the field for about 10 minutes. So it's a bit different to the other players that have been out there for 70, less likely to have that effort area. But he pushed up in support, and that's why he scored the try. And the way the boys got around him after he scored the try was so good to see. Like, literally the two concerns I had about Lachlan Galvin, acknowledging he's a very good player, but I did have concerns, and the two concerns I had was, so I was worried, I don't think he's a 7. I was worried, how is he going to impact this team culturally with obviously now, the Toby Sexton, the Reed Marnie stuff. And like he came on, Sexton went to hooker, Reed came off, and I'm like, that's exactly what I was worried would dish up the side. Like, how's Toby Sexton feel about that? How's Reed Marnie feel about that? How do the other players in the playing group feel about that? How does Matt Burton feel about his 7 that's been doing pretty decently, getting replaced with this young guy? Like, I was very worried about the impact. They were my two worries, that he couldn't play 7 and that just culturally on the team wasn't going to have a negative impact. The way the boys were getting around him, and like, obviously they play football together, they kind of need to get around him regardless, but it seemed genuine. They just all seemed to love that he scored that try. They all came flying in. And even just seeing him in the huddle, like, I swear he was tearing up in the huddle, and I just felt so happy for him to score the try. Like, it couldn't have gone better. As a Bulldogs fan, a Bulldogs fan that had been quite vocal about Gavin, and as much as I was confused about was he going to fit in and stuff, I'd also been vocal about whether you like this signing or not, you got to just support him. You have to get behind him and give him his very best chance to perform and to succeed. And this is exactly what I was talking about when I said that, because when he went onto the field, everyone stood up and applauded, and he was having his name chanted, and you could tell that he was hearing that, and you could tell that that gave him the confidence boost that he needed. And if it had been the opposite and he runs out on the field and he got booed and stuff, I honestly do think he would have gone into his shell a bit more. And I honestly do think that the crowd cheering so loud when he ran out and chanting his name. I honestly think that helped him go after the game and play well. And that's exactly what I was talking about when I said that you got to support him and give him his best chance to perform. And he was given his best chance to perform, and he performed. He was so impressive. Just back on effort plays, there was something that was pointed out to me after the game that's just even more impressive. And this is something that probably not many people notice and is very much off ball and just a little thing. When Viliami Kikau scored on the left side of the field, the first player to go and jump on him and hug him and congratulate him was Lachlan Galvin. And Lachlan Galvin was not near Viliami Kikau when he scored that try. There was a lot of Bulldog players closer, and this is a knock on those players, but this is glazing Lockie Galvin, who went and got over there and got around Kikau. And then same with Harry Hayes. Galvin was the second guy to get to Harry Hayes. Like, little things like that just really, really excite me about this guy. Like, it's little things like that where you can just tell he's going to be a star. That was his first game. He came on and played 20 minutes off the bench. He didn't even know what position he was going to be playing, and he still played that well. Imagine when he's given more time at training and a full 80 minutes in the game to really build into his game and build into the game. It's hard to just be thrown out there for 20 minutes because you can't build into the game, especially when the games are going for 60 minutes. Like, you don't have any feel for the game and stuff. Obviously, he's been watching it, but to go out there and perform the way he did, I was just so impressed. I just love him. He's got a bad haircut, but I love him, honestly. And I'm all over the place here, but as I was sort of saying before and got carried away, like, taking into account the pressure from fans, where, like, if he played bad, the fans would have just turned on him straight away, myself included. Like, he had to perform well, but the media as well, like, just begging to be able to write some more negative headlines around him. It was the ideal, absolute perfect performance. It's the perfect performance we could have asked for, and just the way things unfolded, to have him transition into the side and please the fans and get the fans on his side and get the media off his back. It could not have gone better. Like, scoring onto, like, the crowd just cheered so loud when he went on the field. When he scored his try, the crowd went nuts. Like, all the Bulldog fans just love him now. Like, he is now that guy, and he just played exactly how he needed to play to get the fans on his side, whether that's, like, 90% of the fans were on his side anyway, but now they're all just genuinely on his side. It was just so exciting, and I hope he comes out and just does it all again next week, because it was a very impressive club debut. Went after the game, scored a try, had his hand. He just put his stamp all over the game. Everything I've been over, like, just the organising he was doing, I was just so impressed. And yeah, I'm very excited to see more of him. Other guys that killed it, like Jacob Kiraz, had an insanely good game. Like, he completely outplayed Zach Lomax. If you're picking a New South Wales team based just off that game, Kiraz is your winger over Lomax easily. Kiraz, the amount of offloads he had and just everything he does. Max King played like an Origin prop, and he is an Origin prop, but he played like one today. He was unbelievable. The amount of run meters he had like over 200 run meters. Like, he was just, some of the hits he was putting on as well. Like, you don't really see Max King put big hits on, but he was just on fire. I want to give a shout out to Marcelo Montoya, who I've been critical of. He played really, really well. He had such a solid game. I was very impressed by Marcelo. Like, just across the park, there was nobody was bad. And I'd say nobody was good. Like, everyone was great. Everyone played really well. Harry Hayes off the bench had such a good game. I was just like, across the park, they played the full 80 minutes. And I feel like the scoreboard reflected how well the Bulldogs played. Like, they ended up winning by 18 points. And just across the park, they all played so well. So it's a very, very impressive performance. Just went so perfectly, especially like against the Eels and stuff. Like, just such a perfect game with all the things taken into consideration, all the Galvin stuff and that whatever. Just very, very ideal as a Bulldogs fan. It's the exact sort of performance you want. And even taking into consideration, like, this was their first game after getting flogged by the Dolphins. So it's such a good response to that as well. And, like, you just expect this team to get better and better as Lachlan Galvin sort of works his way into the team more and more. Bit of a disrupted game up next week against Souths with King out, Burton out, Kurt Mann out. But I think Galvin's coming at the perfect time because he plugs into the halves. Hayward plugs into where Mann normally plays, or like he was started lock today, but you know what I mean. Yeah, no, we're good. We're in a good spot, and like that got us back into first place as well. If we lost, we would have been in second. So back on top of the ladder for like I think the 10th week in a row. Just insanely good. I'm just over the moon. I think if, and this is a huge if, not like this is an if the Dogs do go on to win the comp this year, 100% you're looking back at this game and the Galvin signing as a turning point in the season. I just think it does look like they've gone up a level, and it's only 1 week. You can't read into it too much, but at the same time, they should be getting better and building off it. So they could improve even more, but maybe I'm just being a bit too optimistic. But boy, oh boy, what a game, what a day. Beating the Eels by 18. Lachlan Galvin debut, scores a try. As I said, just a perfect game. Very, very pleased as a Bulldogs fan. Just easy to watch, man. Could sit around and just watch that all day. That'll do me. I think that's enough glaze. But yeah, as I said, I don't know what I'm calling this one, but this is the Bulldogs weekly segment of Orange Pillars where we're just going to try and sit down and talk through each game, whether it's a win or a loss. I just feel like, maybe people want to listen to my thoughts, or at the very least, I can just get my thoughts out and just yap and glaze the Bulldogs. So yeah, I think I'm going to call it the dog dish. But yeah, I don't know. It literally doesn't matter. Anyway, that is us done and dusted, baby. As always, and especially today, up the Dogs.